Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Among Equals. I'm actually here with a very talented photographer, Farah. Good morning, Farah.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm awesome, and I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I feel like I've known you for years, just seeing you and not knowing who you were. You work really hard and really well in sort of being in the background of experiences and creating and capturing the most beautiful photos and the most beautiful energy and just the way that you capture people's emotions and feelings. You've caught me many times in sort of...
Oh, yes, I have.
Yes, you have. And you've caught a lot of people. I had Germism on here yesterday, and he said, I was going to have you on here, and he said, oh, she took the best pictures of me. So, you know. Yes, and he was like, oh, Farah, she's going to come. Like, he was so excited, and I just thought, the world is so small because it's like everybody who I bring in here knows who I'm talking about or oh, I know that person. Oh, I didn't know all about them or anything. So it's so awesome. So like I said, the reason you're on here is because I know that you work really hard and I really admire that about you. So I wanted to ask you, how did all of it start?
Well, I don't know. I think that some of us are lucky to know what it is that we want to do in life. And since I was a child, I knew that I wanted to be some kind of a visual artist. I didn't know what type. When I was a teen, I was writing for like a teen newspaper back in Guatemala. I'm from Guatemala.
Nice.
And I was raised there.
Chapina's in the house. I'm from Guatemala too.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, there I was writing for a newspaper, like a real newspaper. And in that, they would teach you like photo here and there, but that was not my role. My role was to write. And I wanted to become a journalist later in life. But my dad, when I was 16, my dad was in the U.S. and he would go back and forth. He was following the dream. And when one of those times that he went back to, I don't know, some shady neighborhood, and somebody in the black market offered him 3 film cameras. And he comes to me, it was like $50. And this is back in 1990 early. And they still had film. And he said, I will buy them for you, but you have to use them. So I said yes. So he buys the 3 cameras for me, and then in this newspaper I started paying more attention to photography, and then I studied photography. I developed the films. I still have the photos at home. Wow. But they were somebody's, and then they became mine.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then later on in life, I left the country. I had things to do out of there, and I donated my equipment to a children's organization. They would work in the dumpsters and they would teach photography to kids.
Wow.
And I left my photography there. I used to be a cultural promoter there, working with human rights organizations.
Okay.
And I would blend what I knew in photography, film, that's what I studied, with my work, with the social work, let's say. But then I just left it behind. I didn't really know what life was going to give me. So years back, I officially moved to California, and I started working corporate. And then later on, I just get a camera, and then it just comes back to me again. And the love of music is so important because music just connects the world.
Yes.
And the one way that I found me feeling at home in California was through music. I found the home at certain parties, and the music would make me feel at home. And it became even greater when I would just bring my camera and start documenting. And back in the day, people were not documenting non-mainstream music parties. Mm. Because what we do, or what I was more focused on, and kind of still am, is the non-mainstream and the underground of world music. And nobody was interested in that. So I was taking photos, and that's how Farahstop, the archive, began. The music photography archive documenting global and not so global music scene in LA.
Wow, that's amazing. So what year did you actually come here, and then how did you find the connection you found? Was it you just started going to parties, or did you actually approach people, or were you what year was that?
I came here in 2006.
Okay.
So been here 12 years. I'm losing count at this point.
Wow, though, that's a lot. You did a lot.
But I started doing Farahstop until 2008, or no, I'm lying, 2010 perhaps. So okay. Farahstop is 8 years old. And I was looking for world music, not consciously. It's just the sounds that resonated more to me. I had been in Guatemala, I had moved around Central America, and I had been in Europe, and the sounds that just connected with me were the sounds of the world. And I found that at a couple of parties, and I just continued attending those parties, and then I was a regular. And then
That's what happens.
I got my godmothers and fathers that were like, yeah, take your photos.
That's awesome. So what would you say was the most challenging part of being the photographer you are now in the scene? Or
Nowadays, I feel that initially people did not understand the value of photography when the documentation started, when the archive started. And nowadays we live in a social media era, so now people get it.
Yeah.
Getting paid is the number one thing. For people to pay for your work. First of all, my work was not good at the beginning. Yeah. I have so much grain in my photos because I was shooting digital as if I was shooting film. Nobody taught me how to shoot digital.
Yeah.
And it is a different monster. And so I had to learn teach myself, so that's maybe number one. And then once I knew, getting people to value my work financially, not just historically. Because to do this and to survive with this, you have to get paid. There's
absolutely.
Not a way you're going to pay rent. So that part, currently, I think that the challenges are being a female, being a minority, being petite.
Yeah.
But all these challenges can be twisted. I mean, even if they are challenges, I see them as challenges, yes, but they're also motivators for me to be able to do what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is the best part about what you do?
Meeting strangers is fantastic. I know that a lot of the things are community oriented in our scenes, but I feel that meeting strangers is the best because through our work, radio, music, photography, whatever, we get to teach people about what they don't know. And there's a lot of, I am very involved in multicultural things. So I like when somebody from another planet that is not mine comes and really has a great time, and I get to capture it. So meeting strangers and showing them what we do is the best when they can actually connect.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, babe. I really am so happy you're here because I think that I wanted to put you on. Because, I mean, I could put the DJs on. I could put, like the promoters on. But I really wanted to pick your brain because I feel like most people aren't paying attention to you. And you're kind of like floating in and out of the scene, and it's like part of the harmony of the actual vibe and the environment. It's like people are just, because sometimes the way that you capture people, you can tell they don't even know you're there. They're just so completely, and not just because they're really faded and drunk, but it's just, I've seen you. You're like a stealth ninja. You go through the party scene and because I think people like me and you, like, we create events. This is an experience. Like, I've organized this experience for us, but you are part of like those people like me who work for the event. Where like we want to put the love in. We want to add to the event. We don't just want to be in the event, experiencing the event. We want to add to the event. And so when I see you and what you do, and then like the photos you take are just like brilliant. I don't know. Well, we're gonna have to post some of the photos or something because her stuff is just brilliant. Sorry, I'm totally fanning out on you because I think that it's a really hard job. I don't know. I feel like it's really challenging, and I don't know. Like, do you ever feel when you're taking the pictures, sort of apart, like separate from the scene, like you're just a voyeur, like a person looking, or do you feel like? I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you feel like you are an aspect of adding to the scene? But do you feel separate from it when it's happening?
I shoot parties. My main thing is shooting parties. And
I know.
I do music events, right?
Yeah.
But at the parties, what I saw when I started doing this is that people wanted to be Hollywood, They wanted to look at the camera, they wanted to pose, they wanted to call you, command you, tell you what to do.
Well, wow.
And I'm like, how am I going to do what I do when you're telling me what to do?
Totally.
And how am I going to portray reality when you want me to just like show your face standing there?
True.
And that is not true. That is not real. So
That's so true.
I wanted to do everything in like a fly on the wall. I wanted to be a ninja, and I love that. That is a common denominator when describing my work.
You are such a ninja.
I didn't want to be seen, and I still want to be invisible. And when I'm in front of a camera, I'm like, because I don't want my face to be what is remembered. I want the work and your feels of what I don't want people to remember. So no, I do not want to be part of the photos, but I am the photo.
You are the photo.
I am in every single photo that we take, and I say we because I take them because you're there. I don't take them alone, And no, fly on the wall is a good thing, and I don't want to be part of it because I'm already it. And reality is extremely important. Originally, I would coin me as a visual ethnographer because I like to observe. My work is based on observation. And if you're having a fantastic time and I can capture it, you're just there looking great. That's what I want to capture. Not you not being yourself. And some people look so great and so amazing and they don't realize it until they get the energy from their image. And then they feel comfortable. So we have trained, I mean, mainly on the parties that I produced, it's not that we have trained, but people got used to being there and being free because they don't have the pressure of having to look at me. They just can be themselves. And if I am not seen, that's cool. If you don't know who I am, that's fine. If you know the work, that's even better, and my purpose has been fulfilled.
I agree. I totally agree. And you're a ninja, dude, because I'm telling you, like, I notice you because I see the operators in the scene. I see the DJ. I see that, like, some people go in there and they're not even paying attention to how this is all happening, but I'm like, I like to see the gears. And you're definitely like, woo, all over the whole. I love it. It's so good. And you're really good at not being seen. So anyway, my next question was, in terms of moving in the future, what is it that you're looking at, sort of dream-wise, that you're trying to do or currently doing?
I started doing parties. I mean, I shoot parties. I still shoot parties, and I shoot concerts. And in the process, throughout the years, I started loving the work of organizations that would give back to our communities. People that would put quality, free concerts to the public. So I became a fan of that. And somehow life just has me now working doing that. So I work with several organizations that are just amazing for Los Angeles, for us, for Los Angelinos. Bringing free music they're family friendly, they can be not family friendly, they can be whether in the public or behind the scenes, providing it to other communities. But it's not about the community work necessarily, but it's about giving back. Music unites everyone. And for me, it's important to have involvement in my work where everyone can be part of it, not just brown people, black people, everybody people. I like the rainbow in my work. And I feel like my dreams are coming true. I feel like I'm fulfilling my dreams right now. And being present with these people that I work with, I feel that I get less opportunities to shoot parties nowadays because I am doing more of this work with nonprofits, although they are my clients and I get paid and I do get money from my work, which is wonderful. The ultimate goal, right? But ultimately, I feel like I'm part of giving back with my images.
I like that you said that because I think being present is so important to actively be aware of sort of feeling grateful and having gratitude in the moment that you're living right now and not looking back or looking forward to like what I need to be doing or what I didn't do. But like, I think that's the reason why I love what you do so much is because you capture a present moment when someone is living their life and not thinking about, sometimes you can see through the imagery that they're carefree. It's like this feeling of just happy. You capture the happiness. Yeah. You captured happiness with me.
Aside of them being drunk and stuff.
Yeah, right, totally. No, but they could be listening. Maybe like, I don't know, Ethos is playing a good jam. Like you don't know what's happening around, but you can just see it on the person's face, like the admiration and the love they have. And I think it's just capturing that present moment and what you said and being present in your life and feeling lucky to be alive or like feeling alive. I think you capture the feeling of life. Yeah. So I love that. You keep talking about your archive. So what is exactly the archive look like or what's the...
Well, Farahstop, I didn't really know the turn that it was going to take later. But when I started building Farahstop, it was a blog documented with dates and locations.
Okay.
So everything that I have done with Farahstop has been chronologically specified.
Wow.
So I have captured history since 2010, and everything has a date and location. Some of these places don't even exist anymore. Mm-hmm. I saw Martha Clive Loeb at Piano Bar. It doesn't exist no more. Mm-hmm. Kamasi, Washington, I saw him at Footsie's, and Kamasi blew up. Mm-hmm. And Footsie's is a little dive bar.
Yeah.
Afro Funky, which is so close to my heart because that's what made me feel at home. Zanzibar doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So all these things have transitioned, they have moved forward, and even the artists have grown so much or moved to a next thing. But everything has like an order in Farahstop.
Okay.
Even nowadays, I mean, if you want to look for something, you can easily Google it if you know when it happened and where it happened. And even if you don't, I guess, you can look for DJ Etos. And you will find so much information, so much images about DJ Etos with like locations and dates specified.
That's amazing. Was that a conversation that all of you had, like the whole crew, or?
Farahstop has nothing to do with Susuelo.
Wow.
Farahstop is an independent entity, and Susuelo started after Farahstop.
No, I know that, right? But definitely, I feel like you guys just got tremendously stronger, you know, as time grew. But I knew that you were taking pictures before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's almost before, contemporary, but before it was before that, and that's how some of us got connected. Kenyan and I met through Farahstop. He reached out because he knew my work and he wanted to connect. Ethos came later when Susuelo had already existed, but through Ethos, I have learned so much other branches of underground hip hop that I did not know accessible to me. He has educated me so much about things that I would have never known if he would have not existed, or spaces that I would have not gotten interested in if he would have not told me about them.
Yeah.
So no. One thing that was I mean, talking about Susuelo specifically, one thing that we established since day one was photography. It just happened that every time there would be photography. So one thing that characterizes Susuelo is that it's like something a photographer said, if there's not a photo, it didn't exist. But we have photos of all of our events. So our history has been documented with images.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so beautiful because that I feel like you don't need to do that. But things happen and people aren't organized. And it's so amazing to see when you get organized with a group of people that are highly talented and have different skill sets and you give them their space to do what they do and you work as a team. You guys are the greatest example of just like that amazing thing that you can bring. It's not just about getting drunk and partying and blah, blah. It's like you respect the whole art form of the experience.
And we are documenting history, whether I'm doing it with Susuelo or with anybody else in Los Angeles. We are documenting music history. And I think that this happened until late 70s when rock and roll was being shot, and then 80s, in the 90s, with 80s and 90s with hip-hop. World music doesn't really have like a... I say world, but we're global. We're everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have like a position in history.
No, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't really.
There's more emphasis in jazz and in hip hop and in, you know.
There's like a tiny, like I remember even in the 90s, like you'd go to the music store and they would have all these big sections and then it would be like world music. And it was like one cabinet of like 10 CDs.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember going to the listening station and listening to, you know, whatever. And it was really... For me, it was special. It was like, oh, there's French music here. Let me go hear this, you know, or Les Nubians, or like all these random, like I'm trying to remember artists that, you know.
And then people think world music is just like only African drums.
Yes.
And I mean, I focus on dance world music.
On
global dance parties. And that's like even stronger because people can actually participate instead of just being a ritual of music. It's just a participatory thing with the audience and the music.
Well, and the beautiful part about world music is it's an open-ended thing. Like, it doesn't have to be... Like, if you have a hip-hop show, there's certain parameters to create a hip-hop song, for the most part. And the same thing with classical music and jazz. But with world music, it's sort of inviting. It encourages everybody who's just different to come together.
Absolutely. And although the content of Farahstop is... I mean, I can do jazz, I can do samba, I can do bossa.
Absolutely.
But the major emphasis is in global dance parties. For now.
For now.
Next the world.
Yeah, next the world. And you're doing it. You're getting there. Okay, so with the archive, just to kind of go back. So when you started that in 2010.
I want to say, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When you started that in 2010, did you think, like, I'm going to create this global, like, this archive of music? Like, was that your intent all the way down, or I
wanted for the photos to have a special place, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do with them, but people wanted to see them, so I gave them a home, and I didn't really know how long it was going to continue, but I know that I was not gonna stop taking photos. I had been taking photos already for years with film, and then I stopped because of life issues, but then it just finds you back, you know. And now I knew that I was going to keep doing this. And I'm not sure if I'm going to stop doing it ever. And maybe at some point it will not be maybe I'll have a bunch of little faritas doing the archive, you know, and like preserving the work when I can no longer, or when I'm focused on something else. And it happens nowadays that I have to like miss on opportunities because I cannot take care of it because I'm taking care of something else. And
life happens.
There went there could have been a farita, you know, covering the event. Maybe in the future.
I like the faritas. That's so cute.
I want to recruit my little faritas.
Yeah. So that sounds like a plan too.
I try, but it's difficult because, I mean...
You have to manage the faritas.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough. Or they have to be responsive. They actually have to deliver the photos and they have to edit them. And it is a commitment. It's a life commitment.
Yeah.
You have to have time, and time is money. And if nobody's going to be paying you money for doing what you got to do, you cannot do it. You cannot survive that way.
No, you can't.
So it is important to value our work, I think. I'm not sure if I deviated too much.
No, you're totally fine. What about okay, so I'm really interested. Like, what is the process when you do this? Like, when you're going to do a show, or you know that you're going to shoot something, like, I kind of want to hear what the process is after you've shot. No, what's the pre? What do you, like, how does that work?
I guess it depends. It's on a case-by-case basis because not everything I shoot is the same. But I guess follows certain things. I need to know the date so I can lock in the date, and I will not do anything. I won't commit to anybody else that date.
Yeah, because then you don't really have a life then. Because I feel like, I mean, you know what I mean. You know, right? You don't have a life. The life is at the parties, but you're working pretty much the parties. I mean, I'm sure you have a moment, but I never see you stopping, babe. I don't know. I never see her stop.
Yeah, Farah doesn't stop. That's ironic.
Yeah. Is that where the name comes from?
Farahstop comes from the camera. The camera has an f-stop. It's
the
aperture
f-stop.
of the camera. It just happened suddenly, and it never changed. I had a name. It came in my head, and I just kept it. The photographer is Farah Sosa. So let's say Farahstop is the archive. You can be the photographer. You can be Lonnie for Farahstop.
Yeah.
So Farah Sosa is the photographer, and Farahstop is the archive itself.
Okay.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
While Farah is a human. And Farahstop came from the camera because of the f-stop of the camera.
Yeah.
F-stop was taken at the time.
Oh.
It is still. It's some magazine. It is really cool. It's a photography magazine. But of course it was taken in the websites. And
like 1982 or something.
Social media didn't exist. So the website was taken. So I'm like, okay, what else goes with f-stop? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I am Farah, so I'm going to
now I get it. I thought it was Farah's top.
Farahstop.
Like her top. Whatever, you know, so it kind of works anyways because it works on that dual name thing. It's really cool. So bringing you back to process.
So I need to have the date, and usually I get my dates at least a month in advance.
Okay.
Because I need to program it in my shoots. So I need to know the date, location, and time. Usually, if I'm working for a client, it's a 1 to 2 hour shoot. Generally, the highlights. And if it's something that I'm more involved with, I am there beginning till end. And then, I want to know what kind of music is it. And if I don't know the music necessarily, like I shoot some African parties and I want to know who the artist is so I can get a little more familiar with it. I want to know. So I want to know how I feel, how my body flows.
Wow.
I need to drink water. So I stay hydrated. And once at the party, I mean, some people have requests. You know, some people have their shot list. I want to know if you have requests so I can fulfill your needs. But when you're hiring me, or when you work with me, or when you collaborate with me, you're getting me because of my work and because of my style. So you will leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I will do my thing. And then I just observe. It's an observation thing. I observe the people and the environment. And then I grab my shots with the people that are totally getting down. If you're just taking selfies with your phone, probably I will not pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to necessarily capture that, but it's not exactly the vibe of the party. That's you with yourself.
Yeah.
And the party is like a little different mechanics. Sometimes I go for it, you know. I sometimes it will work, but so observation. Then the shoot ends, and then hopefully I will sleep that night. And then the day after, I download my photos. And then I do a general selection first of about 300 images if your party was good.
Wow.
So I may shoot about 1,000 images a night.
I was going to say, what's your average?
Per event, about 1,000. So I will.
Is that naturally? You know that? Like you just do it. It's like kind of give or take how many you actually shoot just organically.
I believe that it's. I mean, I know that I'm going to deliver 100 or 150 images, something like that. Generally, that is what my offer is, or what my requests are, what the logic is. I mean, more than that, you're not going to pay enough attention to it.
Okay.
So it's about 100, 150. And so that's 10% of all the images I shot. For parties that I know already, that I've done so much, like Susuelo, I can be like at 600.
Okay.
And from those 600, we'll still select 200. Or I want to select less, but the party's like popping so much that I just have so many images.
Oh my God, life is so hard when everyone's so amazing there.
But I know that my average, to deliver and to portray a night will be about 100 images. That's more than enough. If it's 2 hours, 100 images, that's 50 images, 50 moments that happen within 1 hour. I mean, just do the math,
Yeah, totally.
So, but yes, that is usually my process. So I select my first batch, and then I select my second batch, and the second batch is the one that gets edited. And then as soon as I'm done editing, it gets posted in Farahstop and in all the social media sources.
What's the average after the second round of pulling do you have that you edit usually?
100 to 150.
Okay. That's a lot.
Maybe your event was not as active. Maybe your event was just like a sit-down event to just watch these musicians play, and it's a trio. How many angles can I get of a trio? So maybe I will get 50 images instead in that kind of events. So it's on a case-by-case basis. It depends on the nature of the event. But focusing on dance parties, it would be 100, 150.
Okay. And then I was going to say, for new upcoming photographers and people that might be interested in kind of what you do, what would you recommend and how would they start?
Don't give out your work for free. When you give out your work for free, you lose value. Your work loses value, and you are not valuing yourself enough. Once you start valuing yourself, charge a little bit if you don't want to charge a lot. When somebody asks you for a photo, don't give it out for free. Unless it's somebody that you really feel that it's an investment in your life. That will bring you a lot. And even so, I would question it because your work is valuable. So I think that is my main thing to new photographers. If your homie asks you to take some portraits, do it. But have your homie give you $50.
Yeah.
A little something that will represent something in your life and that will value your work and your time and all the investment that you're doing. Our cameras are expensive. Our time is money.
Heck yeah.
And your friend's time is money too. So if your friend is going to take these images that you're going to provide for something that will benefit them, your friend should invest in you. Like, there's nothing wrong when your friends give you money. When your friends want to give you money, it's because they value your work and they want to see you grow and they want to inspire you. So take money from your friends. It's a great thing. And once you start doing that, you're gonna see how. You will increase the value of yourself. It's like a cycle that flows, and then somebody else will come and have another request, and you will do even a better job because you're charging even more money. And so on. So it may become a lifestyle. It takes time, yes, but you can do it little by little. So if little by little you're going to have little requests, we'll ask for little money if you want. But yes, it is important to value your work.
Wow. I love, you're amazing. Because it got me, yeah, you're right, absolutely. I think it's funny because I was talking to, I had an artist here a little while ago and we were talking about the same thing, valuing yourself, validating yourself by being able to charge people or just knowing yourself. A lot of artists really struggle with that, with not setting a standard.
It takes time to understand that your work is valuable. And I get that. I mean, not everybody will come to the spot and be paid, And the next thing is like, when there's another photographer on site, respect their work and don't get in the middle because you're not the one getting paid. Mm-hmm. So also got to respect others' work. I don't show up to your DJ gig with my turntables and my crates,
Exactly.
So respect other people's work as well. It is increasing the population of new photographers that want to make it happen. And I get it. But be respectful of the other person's work if you're going to be there as well. You're not the one, baby. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. How do you monetize your work? Like, how do you, like, on the website, or can people pay for, for example, if they want a picture from you, because people can steal so easily. It's like not even funny. How do you create that sort of income other than, or do you yet, or have you, where they don't just hire you to, pay you to shoot the event, but the after part, kind of like, do you do that?
Some people want to purchase the images after the fact, but I have made it clear and I think that I'm at that point, throughout the years, I have made it clear that my work cannot be used without permission. And it is specified on my site that my work cannot be used without permission. So people reach out to me to contact me and ask me for this image. And when you ask me for this image for free, I tell you, well, I am a professional photographer and I charge for the usage of my work. And this image is worth this amount of money. And this will grant you this specific rights for the image. And then you can use my image.
That's
if you
awesome.
like to do it. If you don't want to do it right now, no worries. We got the future. The image is right there.
Yeah, it's there ready for you.
If you don't want to pay for my work and you get mad because I want to charge you for my work, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. It's so hard, though, when you put your stuff online, and it's just so easy for people. I just didn't think about that. And I think that it sucks because even, like, being like, you see something, you get excited, and people just screenshot shit off their phones, and then just, you know what I mean? It's so hard. Like, I was talking to Jeremy yesterday, and he was talking about how, he's an artist, and, back in the day, we would all do this. We just take images that we just find images back in the day online or in a magazine. Sometimes they don't even have any credit. And then you use that as an inspiration to create something else. So it's kind of like everything is a kind of like an offshoot of something else. Like you've been inspired by something. Technically, are you stealing if you're taking the art and you're interpreting it your own way? Not as a photographer is completely different because that is the actual image. And that's, but as a painter, if you take something and use that image to kind of create another idea, it's technically not stealing, but it's still using that inspiration to spawn off into some other branch. And it's like being a creative person, it's really tricky because I don't want to be disrespectful and take something from someone and recreate it in my own way, but at the same time, that's kind of how artists find their inspiration sometimes through other people's.
And it has happened to me. So you have to make a judgment call. Somebody recently, an artist that I really respect, he's a graph artist, and he reproduced an image that I did. And then I saw the process, and it was so beautiful, I couldn't get mad. And I don't think he's profiting from it. That's the thing, he's not profiting from it. So he did his own painting based on my image. I'm okay with that. But he's not doing it for profit. When I do see a flyer out there that has my image, I immediately get in touch.
Whoa. Yeah,
And
that's different.
Metadata is important. In the future is coming. Metadata is important. Is what you put, is the data that you have in your image once you save it and you put it out there in the world.
Okay, I didn't know
that.
my
images have my copyright in them.
Oh, okay.
So if, let's say, I catch you using my image and it has my copyright and you're using it for profit.
So it's like your internal watermark?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, images have data in them. So so if you get the info of the image, once you save something, you may find a metadata. Unless the image has been plagiarized before and remodified. A professional photographer will put metadata in their image. Or they know perhaps about this and not everybody knows about it. It depends on your software. But yes, it's my invisible watermark in the image that will remain in the data forever. It's hard to track everything, but I am pretty good at trying to track my images. So if you Google Farah Sosa, if you Google Farahstop, you will find in the Google Images where my images are. And then if I see something that is not familiar to me, I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. That's hard, too, is locating that, too, right? I mean, every so often, do you find something that someone did maybe a long time ago that was your image? That's so frustrating. That's straight up stealing.
It is.
Especially if they're making money off of it. If it was just like, not that it makes it right, but if people just share something because you did something amazing and it made them happy versus an event or an image that's so frustrating. So have you had a lot of those problems? I mean, you take so many pictures.
I've had issues like that in the past, but my work is known for not being stealable. So thankfully, I've caught them, let's say, and I've stopped it. But I don't know. I think that the people that I work with nowadays or throughout the years have learned that they need to reach out if it's something that is not within our agreements to understand what they can do. I see people use it for social media. So long as it's not for profit, it's okay. Social media is fine right now. So long as you don't create your own album, because that's not helping me.
Yeah.
Some people just like grab 10 images and then make their own album, and then I have to be like, hey, no, this is not right. You're not helping the artist by doing that. Once the artist has a source and you just grab from their source and you put it in yours, that's not right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not paying for it. So no, you don't help the artist that way.
You're making a good point too, because I think social media is going so fast and so like progressive that I think there isn't like a set, some of this shit is obvious, but kind of a set rules that we're not teaching even the younger generations of like certain ways that you should treat other people's artwork socially, or even behaviors on social media, the way people treat each other. Like, I just think like people think because they're behind a phone that it's okay to do all these things because technically they really, I mean, you could, if you really try really hard to find them, you can find them. But a lot of times people are just like hiding behind their phones. So they feel like they don't have to be respectful. They don't feel like, they don't understand that your work is artwork and that you're trying to make money. I don't think that a lot of times people are even thinking about you and like all the hard work you did and people paid you to do that, and they're just like, oh, I like this, and they take it and they don't even have like a thought process as to this is not a good choice. And it's like, I think a lot of artists, because we're all on the internet, I've had a few people who have like tried to get discounts from me for things that I do right away, or tried to, which is the worst, it's kind of like you, it's like fighting for your artwork, is try to get me to like do free muraling, or okay, what can I just pay for your paints? Like, can I, just try to like cut you back, and just not realizing how many hours and how much work it takes for you to just get there, even just to prep. Yeah. The prep is like the hardest part of being for me it is. Like,
and it takes so much time.
Just so much time. And the mental time too, to plan everything. And like most of the time when I come to like a mural, like starting a new wall or something, I've already drawn everything out. That's been another 1 or 2 hours just to set it out, go to Home Depot, buy all the paint, price everything. Like that's 2 or 3 hours at least. If you're good, it's like 2 hours. But like if, and then you show up to the thing, and I just think it's the same thing. It's like all this work, people don't think that, people just don't think, so they just take it and they just reuse it without even asking. And I think that there isn't any sort of conversations about proper, proper ways of dealing with the internet sometimes. I think people just take stuff, and it's hard, especially with you. What a challenge.
I mean, making money is the ultimate result,
Absolutely.
From the fruit of your work. So
yes.
Making money is the ultimate result.
So you can keep doing it.
I'm totally down with doing collaborations.
Yeah.
So long as it's an even thing that we can all benefit from.
Yeah, totally.
So that part is fine too. Collaborating is good. Working is even better, and making money for doing what you love is even the best thing. So, yeah. Tracking the work it may be tough, but I think that at the very beginning, when you work with people, you have to set your standards, your parameters, and specify what is it that you can and cannot do. Mm-hmm. So it'll be clear in the future.
And that takes years to feel very comfortable with too. Like I can see that you're there, and I'm there too now. But I mean, it took me years, and even then, once in a while, I think if I'm a little too nice or too lenient, just because like for whatever reason I feel some sort of way about somebody, and then I tell myself like then I'm in the middle of doing something and I was like, I should have charged more, I should have and then it's like you kick your own ass. You're like, that's my fault. Like it's not their fault that I gave in or I gave them a discount when it ended up being something longer. Like it was going to take me longer because I wanted it to be quality. Mm-hmm, and if you have your own,
and people don't understand that this shoot is not the same as the next shoot. This one will take longer to work on because quality is going to be different.
Quality is going to be different, yeah. And you have a set expectation for yourself. So it's not even about even the getting paid for the job, but that's like lo mínimo of like what you think you want to do. It's more like, no, you want to raise the bar. It's like, this is your portfolio. This is your representation of yourself. So you need to come with it 100, however that is. And like you said, sometimes I'm painting through a mural and I'm not happy with it. I'm like, I'm going to have to, it's just another 2 hours. Like, I already know. Like, whatever I thought it was going to be, it's not looking like that. So I need to add more paint. I need to make some changes. And that's already 2 hours I didn't charge that person.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. And it's like, it's on me because and you get to know yourself better. You get to understand who you are. You get better in your skill set. But it's sort of like a learning curve. It's like, I got to like take the hit.
And we don't know everything. That's the other very important thing. I'm super shy, so I have trouble asking questions when I don't know. But I reach points in which I need to ask. So if you don't know, ask. Ask somebody who knows better than you. It doesn't hurt to ask. I'm learning every single day about things. Google is so helpful now because now you can learn this little technique here and there that you didn't know before that I really need to like discover at the spot or to fix something. So it helps. But there's things about business management and things that I'm still like on the learning path that I don't know, and I like to ask people who know better than me. And there's probably somebody that is 10 years younger than me who has this bunch of dreams. They don't know what to do with their photos, and if they want to ask them down.
Yeah.
But asking questions doesn't hurt.
No, I agree, and I think you're right. I would say 10 years ago, I had a really hard time asking for help. I'm a lot better now because I feel like at that point, it's just you're wasting time when you're not learning and when you're not asking for help. And it's awesome because you're right. Like sometimes I'll be like, I don't know how to do this, and I'm still old school, and I'll be like, takes me a minute, like, oh, I can Google this now, Like, I don't think like that. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm going to figure this out. Like, is there some place I can go? Like, it's a nerd. And then I'll just Google it. I don't have to talk to people anymore. Like, you just go on the internet and they're there. So that's so funny, though, that you're so shy. You say you're so shy.
I'm super shy.
You're super shy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never got that. I just think you're very...
I mean, I'm in my role when I'm taking photos, I'm empowered to have my camera on me. I have my camera on me right now.
Yay.
So I feel comfortable.
Oh, yeah. How sweet. How cute is that?
But yeah, I am super shy.
Really?
When I'm taking photos, I'm like, okay, I'm in my element. When I have a new party to shoot, this is my first time working with them.
You're shy at
I'm
the party?
shy.
How cute.
I'm in a corner just like observing and watching.
That's so cute.
Following my process.
How interesting. So why do you think, okay, that's so funny. So that's like, okay, so being so shy and then sort of like putting yourself in these experiences, like, is that you trying to be less shy? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I love music, so music makes it easy. I love music. And the power that I see in music is important because I see how it unites everything we do. And the things that I do are mainly multicultural parties, so I see how it unites everybody in one vibe. So music really helps. If I'm feeling the music, I can get loose a little more. And I shoot things that I love. I like the music that I work with. So
I like the music you work with too.
It helps a lot.
Yeah.
And usually the people are really great. So because they're feeling, that's the thing about specifically the parties that I do that are more unifying. It's like a vibe that transfers to us. We like good vibes.
Yeah, we do.
We're good vibe people. We like to share good vibes and be nice to one another.
Yeah.
So I think it transfers to the people that we're serving.
Yeah.
And if I am shy and if it's an unknown environment, I just like focus on the music and I feel good about what I'm listening to. And then it like flows. But I will be in the corner at the beginning of the night in the darkest one.
Oh, cute. I love that.
So you cannot see me.
Let me ask you this, though. What about when, I know this has to have happened more than once, but like, what about when you're at a place where maybe the vibe isn't?
It never happens.
Right? I'm not going to say where, but how do you find that without it being there for you to grab?
I have a job to do. I have a job to do, and my job is to take photos of the music.
Yeah.
And if the music is... the music will be great, and the people may make it...
You know what I mean? Sometimes,
right.
Every once in a while, you'll go somewhere... I don't know. There's been times where you go somewhere and it's just like, that it's like something's up or something's weird. Like the energies can be not good.
Or some people come to our parties with that kind of vibe too.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It could be the energy of the people.
I focus on not that person. I focus on something else that is not that badness.
Isn't that funny how you can
darkness.
totally... It's like, Like,
yeah. Is that people on the cell phone taking selfies that I'm just not vibing with, that I will just pass. And I will focus on the other one that just makes me feel better about what is happening around us. My intention is not to focus on the dark, but to share light. So I think is where I put my energy to when I get to live those things. I get a lot of... hate too from people at the parties, like, don't take a photo of me or delete that photo.
God, I never thought about
girls that are just super catty and drunk, or men that are just like demanding and telling me to do things, so I don't know. I think that I've learned how to put my best smile and say no.
Yeah.
No.
Wow, I never thought about the cattiness and the...
Oh, yeah. And people are insecure sometimes and they don't like how they look, or they don't feel good
or
about
maybe they're not supposed to be there.
Not supposed to be. If you're not supposed to be there, you let me know and I take you out.
I
respect your privacy.
Yeah.
And if girls don't feel comfortable with photos, I will not take a photo of them. But I'd be like, hey, let me see your face and let me remember you. So I will not put you out there.
Yeah.
Because I understand. You know?
That's hard. And then I'm sure I never thought about this. You probably get people emailing you after like, hey, can you take that down?
Seldom. I'll get that like maybe twice a year. And a year I shoot 150 events. So seldom I will get something like that. And I get it.
I get it too.
Like, I don't like to be in front of the camera. So I understand how uncomfortable somebody else can feel about themselves. And
no one's signing a photo release when you walk into the club. So
yeah. We do have disclaimers the majority of the time.
Okay.
And we do announce photography or that I am taking photos because it is important for people to know that this will be documented.
How do you announce the disclaimers?
The disclaimers, we put them in signs.
Okay.
There's signs.
Gosh, I never even noticed that before.
Yeah, if you do a Sunday parties, we have signs. And then it is up to the promoter also to help with that part. My documentation is very journalistic. It's not as invasive.
It is very journalistic.
As a documentation, I get like the journalist card. In which I can portray stuff. And these are private events. These are private clubs. You may be paying for it. You may be going in for free, but you are willingly going to this. So there's a lot of things that will allow documentation under those circumstances.
That's really interesting. Okay. Well, basically you're on here on First Among Equals because I feel like because I think that you're trying to be first in what you do. And First Among Equals, I really like the name because it's not saying that we're better than anybody else. It's saying that among our equals of people, you're trying your best to push to be the best person you can be. So what would you say for you is like your number one? What's your goal? What at the end of the day is something that you're really trying to push towards?
I want to share multicultural environments. We live in a world that preaches to be divided. Even in our parties, we have Latin parties, we have African parties, which is a beautiful thing. But how about we have something for everybody? So in my images and in the work that I get involved with, whether with my party crew or with my clients, I do push to share multicultural humans, sharing one space, and being good to one another. That is important. It's the world we're living right now, and that's what I feel that I should be sharing. If other people are not preaching being together politically, spiritually, religiously, I would like to play my part in making us all be one together, with things we love.
For sure. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of First Among Equals. Would you like to pull any plugs, anything on Instagram, anything that you have going on?
Well, Subsuelo, definitely Subsuelo. Subsuelo is how we met, how you and I met.
Yes.
We're no longer strangers.
No longer. No longer.
But we were strangers. And
you
we met
captured me.
Yes. And your homies.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get old.
Yeah.
But Subsuelo is a party that I do with an artist collective. We all have different roles, but together we make Subsuelo. And we share global dance music. And the party is good vibes. We have a lot of things going on. A couple of my DJs just went to Coachella. We're going to be at Lightning in a Bottle.
Are you going to?
I am going to Lightning in a Bottle.
So exciting.
Yes. And we have different residencies. And the thing about Subsuelo is that the things that we do are different. So we have a residency on Friday nights, some Friday nights in downtown. And this is like a Friday night party to go to. And then we have Subsuelo Sundays in summertime. About to start in 3 weeks.
Yes, I know. I'm like...
So summertime is going to be super fun. I would recommend the world to come in summertime to us at Cañaron Bar. That is going to be great. And that is the best way to experience Subsuelo. We're about to do our anniversary. We're reaching 8 years together. Wow. So that's about to happen also in May. May is going to be extremely busy for us.
Okay.
We have silent disco, I think, or is it the next month? I can't remember. And so on. So we have a lot of things going on. So I would strongly recommend to follow Subsuelo crew. We are everywhere in all the socials, and we're sharing everything we do there. So come experience the vibes.
All right. And you can find Farah on Instagram at
Farahstop, Farahstop. Farah with F like Frank. Farahstop.
Yeah. So thanks, you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you, babe, so much for coming. It's such a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace, you guys.